Secretary, Governor, and now President of the UW system, Tommy Thompson, thank you so much for being here.
Well, it's my honor, Frederica. It's always a pleasure to see you. I remember fondly our days when you used to interview me when I was governor. So I'm very happy to be back on your program, and thank you so very much for having me.
Well, thank you. Well, just to jump in, with K-12 districts in certain parts of the state deciding to go virtually for the start of the school year, how can the UW safely open to even a hybrid of remote and in-person classes safely?
We're dedicated and passionate about making sure that our professors, our instructors, our employees, and above all, our students are going to be safe. You got to remember that I was Secretary of Health, and I would never put anybody in harm's way if I can help it. And we're doing everything. We're preparing our classrooms. We're making sure our large classrooms are not going to be utilized. We're making sure that every student has to have a mask on when they're inside. We're also asking them to wear their masks outside if they cannot socially distance. We're making sure that in our entrance and exits, so a lot of them are only going to be one way. We're making sure that our classrooms have got the highest cleaning standards put down by CDC. We're dedicated to that. We're putting instructions out daily as to how to make sure our classrooms are safe. We feel that we're going to have our classes and classrooms as publicly safe and as safe for our employees as we possibly can, and above all, our students. So I feel very confident. We're opening on September 2nd, and I'm here to tell you I'm dedicated to make sure that everybody will be safe.
Now, young adults, as you know, were in large measure responsible for kind of the most recent surge. How can the university manage their behavior on and off campuses?
Well, there's no way that you're going to be able to, Frederica, manage students off campus. But what we're doing is we're asking students to wear their masks. We're putting out a lot of information. We're asking students to get flu vaccinated and have the vaccine, and purchased so that we can help students get vaccinated. We're putting out a lot of instructions. We're talking to a lot of students, and we're encouraging students. And the most important way to do it is by having students talk to other students. Let's be safe. Let's be healthy. We are going to enjoy campus, but we have to be healthy to enjoy it. This is the message going out. And using my public health days, my public health hat on, I'm going to do everything I possibly can through social networking, through signs, through encouragement, using students, using our professors to make sure our students are safe both on and off campus.
Now, you're obviously deep into the books at the UW system. What kind of financial hit is the UW dealing with because of closures last spring?
Well, huge. It was an amazing thing because we had to refund pro rata the share of the student dorms, the food that we had purchased. A lot of food we purchased for the full semester, and then we had to give that away. So it was a financial, really strong hit. Harder on some campuses than others, but overall it was really tough for the system. And then we also got, in the first semester, we also got hit by about $50 million from the state of Wisconsin, and we're going to have to take another hit. So the University of Wisconsin system has financial problems, but I am confident working with the governor's office, working with DOA, working with my contacts in Washington, that we're going to be able to get enough state and federal dollars with the help of what we're going to do managing this problem at the system level. We're going to make it. We're going to make it, and we're going to come out stronger next year than we are this year.
Oh, because as you mentioned, Governor Tony Evers has now announced an additional $250 million budget cut to state agencies, and presumably the UW would have to take a portion of that. Is there any portion of that you believe that the system can take and still embark on reopening and providing all of the kinds of PPE, et cetera, that you need to do so safely?
Well, there's two pots of money that we're talking about. The state money that the governor is talking about is money that can be lapsed by the governor and his office, and we're pushing back on that, but we're trying to accommodate the governor and the DOA. We're trying to show how difficult it's going to be and why it's probably going to be problematic for the system. But we're working with the governor and with his staff and DOA. We don't want to be confrontational. We want to be cooperative, and we want to make sure that they understand our financial conditions. We're also working in Washington to get more federal dollars. And as you know, I've asked the governor for $110 million for personal protective equipment, as well as for tracking and tracing and testing. And we think, with that money, if we could get $110 million, we would be able to definitely open. We are going to open up. It will be safe, but it would be much more helpful if we had that extra money for testing and tracing and for purchasing, the protected equipment.
What do you think the likelihood is of getting that kind of money?
It's always an uphill battle. There's nothing is easy when you're acting president of the University of Wisconsin system, I'm finding out. But we're going to do everything we possibly can. I am aggressively seeking money from the state and federal levels. I think that I'm cautiously optimistic. I come from Elroy, Wisconsin. You have to be cautiously optimistic just waking up in the morning. And so I feel that we're going to do it, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to be able to be stronger and healthier next spring than we are today. I am confident of that.
We leave it there. Former Governor Tommy Thompson, now president of the UW system. Thank you very much for joining us.
Frederica, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.